you got to kind of think about, why is that school charging that price? Well, what do they have to offer you? Right? Versus, again, in another situation where it's part-time or in someone's garage or recreation or YMCA or whatever. What does that school charge you? And is there a reason what do they provide you? And there's a reason they're charging that. Hello, my name is James Cox. This is the Martial Arts Lifestyle. The question is martial arts too expensive? Because martial arts is expensive. I think the national average right now for a basic program in an established martial arts academy is $150 to $200 a month. Some charge more, some charge less. Now, you could still probably look around enough and you can find a karate class, a club, a gym, someone's garage for maybe $30 a month, and maybe even for free. So you can pay a lot, you can pay a little. What does it matter? And what is the difference? Well, isn't it about what do you get from that, right? There's a difference in sometimes a premium price and why it's charged that, and the benefits and the value. The price could also depend on the area you're in, the economy of that city, or whatever is going on. But let's look really honestly at it, and that money equals respect in a whole lot of ways. I mean, I come from no money, and what I have now I've earned and worked really hard for. But there's a difference when you pay for something versus things are given to you. Has anyone ever just given you something and maybe not purposely, you just didn't really treat it the same way? You didn't really respect it the same way. But have you worked really, really hard for something and coming up with that money was not easy, and then you treated it differently? You had an automatic higher respect and value for that. You took care of that, right? It's like having something that's someone else's versus having something that is yours. Or it's like an adult driving a rent-a-car versus their own car, right? So you're treating it the same way because it's something that you paid for. When we compare activities, we can talk about kids and or adults, on the average compared to martial arts. And I know because I've had my kids go through different programs, and of course I talked to a lot of other local business owners in these different industries. So how much is other activities for kids? If it's cheerleading or dance or different sports, how much does an adult pay at different gyms? How much is a CrossFit? How much is personal training? Guitar lessons, piano lessons, all the different activities and things that we may do. And is there a difference in hobbies versus some of the life skills that the martial arts is going to produce? Well, $150, $200 a month could seem like a lot, and everyone is different, and maybe not everyone can afford martial arts. I hope that we can maybe find a way when it's something that we really want to do, and there are some ways that we do that in our schools, and I know that other people do as well. You got to kind of think about, why is that school charging that price? Well, what do they have to offer you? Right? Versus, again, in another situation where it's part-time or in someone's garage or recreation or YMCA or whatever. What does that school charge you? And is there a reason what do they provide you? And there's a reason they're charging that. One, there's overhead. There's lots of overhead, the equipment, the facility, insurance, taxes, and full-time employees that are doing this for a career, and they have their own family and kids and their lifestyle. It's their job, their career. So we have that overhead that we have to cover, and we want to cover that, but we want to make sure that you're getting more out of it than what you're paying for. There's a big return on the investment. And in a good martial arts school, man, it's priceless in a lot of ways. I mean, let's talk about price tags. What's the price of something? You can go and get a cheeseburger, and you might know that it's going to be $5. Or you can go to Starbucks and get your $7 drink. What'd you get out of that, right? But let's look at the martial arts. Like, how much? Have you ever seen a price tag for confidence? Have you seen a price tag for self-defense and peace of mind, for discipline, for respect, for goal setting? I mean, those are valuable things. So you kind of get what you pay for in that situation for something that has lifelong benefits and value. I remember a lady told me something once that stuck with me. She was in the supplement and weight loss industry. She was selling vitamins and things for weight loss, and somebody told her that it was too expensive. Supplements are expensive, by the way, good ones. And she told them, well, have you priced a heart attack lately? right? So it's also paying a lot for something that, again, is going to give you a lot back, and it might be prevention. And that's the same concept with what, how can you price a good quality martial arts? You want it affordable. We want to be affordable, and, be able to give back up what we're offering there, basically. Again, there's a difference in a club, someone part-time teaching versus someone full-time in an academy or school. We may run 6 classes a day, 6 days a week. That's a lot of classes. That's a lot of expense and overhead that we have. Things are not cheap to own and operate your business, and again, to take good care of your staff and make sure you're paying them well. So we got to cover these overhead, and again, we just got to understand what it takes to run the school, the cost of that, and what is the person getting out of it. You can be part of a martial arts school and pay less than what other people are paying. Maybe you're part of that martial arts school and you're not on the demonstration team or the fight team. So these guys are paying more money because they're getting more out of it, but also there's hidden costs or other costs that we might want to have. You'll see people getting better fight gear, weapons, so there's a difference in a $30 bow staff and a $130 bow staff. Maybe it's weighted the right way, it's performance level, it's flashy enough, it has the right grips in the right places. There's a difference in a $30 boxing glove and a $130 boxing glove. It's also packed the right way. Is it vinyl or leather? Is it, cushioned and proportioned well where it has better protection of your wrist and your knuckles? Is it going to get as smelly as easy? Is it going to last you longer? So the durability and the quality of the equipment that we get is also a difference in the programs. And, that's going to be with everything else that you do. There's probably ways to get into most martial arts schools at a lower cost, a lower entry, if it's a starter program or a beginner basic level, where you get the essentials. And, if you're having a hard time financially with getting into a martial arts program, then, you shop around, of course, but I wouldn't always say that cheaper is better, and I will also say that more expensive is not better. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to try it out. Most people will do a free trial or a low-cost entry, maybe if it's even a 2-week special or a 6-week special, so you can kind of see what you're getting into and go from there. I've seen people that are overcharging. They're charging too much. In my opinion, what is charging too much? Well, the answer is, how do the students look? What is the student body, right? Are these students pretty skillful? Or, are they learning fitness and self-defense and fighting and life skills, the true character of a martial artist? And are they getting a lot out of it? But you look at a student's white belts and then green belts and then red belts and black belts. How do the students really look at the end of the day overall? Because that kind of tells me it's worth that price or it's not worth that price. Right? So I wouldn't always base your decision off the price, and that's with everything, right? There's things that are underpriced and overpriced, but you can base your decision off the quality of the experience, the benefits that you gain, what they have to offer, and then I think you can find martial arts school that is affordable. It might be the honesty of that it's tight on the budget. I understand budget, but we have to find other things to cut. Hey, how about some less Starbucks? How about less Bud Light? You find whatever you can to cut so you can put the money in something that has, some more benefits and value. And then you just kind of keep going with that. So depending on the area and what you're going to pay, it might be personal preference. It might be opinion on what's too expensive. But I have heard people have a really hard time starting the martial arts or choosing not to start it because it was too expensive. But then I've had people that have done it for many years and they've put the time and they've paid the fees and there's no regrets. There's no regrets. No one's asking for refunds, because they know where they are now compared to where they were. I remember when I was a white belt and I remember where I am now. You couldn't pay me enough money to take away my knowledge for a paycheck, So what are you getting from it, guys? That's really it today, man. Just want to kind of talk about that and what we're charging and why we're charging it, So the money equals respect. You guys have a good day. Check out our YouTube channel, James Cox Martial Arts. Thanks.